Hello, TubeBuddy users. I'm Andrew Can from TubeBuddy, and today we are going to be discussing TubeBuddy's keyword research tools and dive into how to think about keyword research on YouTube. If you're watching live, please let us know in the live chat, but if you're watching the replay, we will have comments that are in the description and chapters, so you can skip around in this video and maybe get to a place that you really want to focus on. Some of the things we're going to be discussing and covering today is what is keyword research? How to see if it's working for you? Is it bringing views to my YouTube channel, you being you specifically, and how to track progress of keyword research after you've already optimized the video. A lot of times we tend to focus on the before and the research before making the video, but what happens to keyword research after? So we're going to be going ahead and focusing on that. Super excited to be discussing this topic. This is something that I'm really passionate about. I really love keyword research, and any tools we mention today, I'll be sure to mention if they're free or require the paid version of TubeBuddy. So let's get started. I see comments coming in, and we are going to be taking questions as we go along. If you're watching in the replay, don't worry. These questions are going to be very focused on the topics we're discussing. So the first thing I want to focus on is, what is keyword research? When you're doing keyword research, essentially what you're doing is you're creating a blueprint for your content. I often tell people that you don't just build a house without a blueprint. And when it comes to doing keyword research, what you're doing is a lot like building a house. Who is going to live there? In terms of content creation, it is who is going to watch and experience this content. It's understanding who your audience is and who you're making the content for. 2, what room is it? Meaning, what specific purpose does that content serve? So we're going to go deep today. I'm super excited seeing a lot of people here, seeing that people are enjoying it. If you are enjoying the stream, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. It does really help out the channel, and we're excited. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to share my screen, and we're going to go over to YouTube so we can see TubeBuddy in action. You can download TubeBuddy absolutely free today in the description. So let's go ahead and take a look at the YouTube side of things. So when you download TubeBuddy, you may already be familiarized with the familiar TubeBuddy drop-down menu. If you're new here, don't worry, this is going to help you out. Once you authenticate TubeBuddy, meaning you've done the sign-in process, you've done everything you need to, you're going to click on this icon here. This is going to show you our tools pages, and this is where TubeBuddy magic really shines. We show you some of the most popular tools and features. We show you some system messages like, hey, we're live right now. We show you some industry news updates, so any feature changes that happen to YouTube will be here, and we can celebrate your milestones, your successes on this platform. I see that people are saying here, I see from Nash the King 479 that they say they use TubeBuddy. Awesome. We see some other people here. I see our mods. I see Stanley. I see Ike. I see Stacy. I see Beanie. So thank you everyone for watching. Now, when it comes to keyword research, we're going to be focusing on the TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer. We're also going to be focusing on the Video Topic Planner, the SEO Studio. We're going to dive a little bit into tags list, but we're also going to be discussing about some general things to know when it comes to keyword research. So one thing that I really need to stress when it comes to keyword research, and this is something that people tend not to really understand its purpose. A lot of people think, I did keyword research, I'm guaranteed views. There are no guarantees in life. Doing keyword research is doing the stuff that YouTube asks all creators to do to help you get your foot in the door. I often look at it this way. In order to run a race, you need to train. If you don't do the bare basics, if you don't show up with, gear to run long term, then if you don't have tennis shoes, if you don't have the proper prep, then just showing up won't matter if you aren't prepared. So doing keyword research is helping you be prepared. It's helping you have that chance to run in the race. I'll explain that a little bit later as we go on, but remember, when doing keyword research, it's not a guarantee of views, but it's an opportunity for you to show up in search and get more people to see, and we'll discuss that as we go on. So going back to the screen recording, let's focus on our Keyword Explorer. Now, the Keyword Explorer is a free feature in TubeBuddy. It's actually super powerful. And I actually have a question for you if you're watching live, a benefit of joining the live streams. What keyword or what video topic would you like me to research? So if you were watching live, mods, if you see anything that you think is interesting, let us know. But this is a question for the chat. What topic would you like us to do keyword research for live? Now, as I'm going through and waiting, we are going to explain what this is. TubeBuddy right here shows you what is trending in your region. We pulled this from Google Trends, and Google Trends actually is a great way that you can see this information for either Google or YouTube. So we're pulling directly from there so that you get an idea of what's trending in your area. So for us in the United States, these are the different things that are trending. You can kind of go through and look at it. You can also change this based on where you are. So let's say you're like our good friend and my coworker Rob, who's in Canada. Then we can see what's trending in Canada, and you'll notice that the trends change. Let's say you're like our moderator Beanie, who's in Australia. Then you can see what's trending in Australia, and they're going to change. So when I say what is a thing, all I see is gaming. You need to be more specific. So here's what I mean when it comes to keyword research. You're not just talking about gaming. What game do you want to play? Go deeper. This is a great example. I see a lot of gaming. I see a lot of different things. I see lifestyle. I see a more specific one with Mario Kart. I see a more specific one with PC gaming. But be specific. If you're targeting gaming as a whole, then that's not specific. What game are you playing? Maybe it's from a developer. Is it a MOBA? Is it an RPG? Is it a first-person shooter? Go deeper than just gaming. Similar, if you're doing Minecraft, go deeper than just Minecraft. Minecraft is really broad. When doing keyword research, the more specific you can go, and as you'll see, the more you can help carve out your own authority on the topic. So we're going to go back. Just wanted to give that. I see Ike was making that call out as well. So now we can see what is trending in different areas. Now, because I'm in the United States, I will go back to the United States. But if you at any point want to see where we're pulling this data, I'll just click on the suns here, and it'll open this up in Google Trends. So if I click in Google Trends, then there's a way you can see where TubeBuddy is pulling the YouTube searches. If you're unfamiliar with Google Trends, you can click here, and then you can go to YouTube search, and you can see that this has definitely been trending in the last little bit for YouTube in the last 7 days. So yes, Google Trends actually does show YouTube search data. TubeBuddy takes that data and pulls it in. So one I see is Brawl Stars. So that is something that I'm seeing a little bit more common. I see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 200cc. I'm seeing some other ones. So one I want to focus on is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 200cc. So if you don't know, we at TubeBuddy do like our Mario Kart. So you got me there. But this works for any keyword, and these principles and ideas go and follow. So if you're watching, I highly recommend, if you have a term, that you follow along and you read the data with us. This is a great opportunity for you to train with us. Now, as we go along, if you have any questions about a score, anything you see in keyword research as we're doing it, I'm looking at the chat, I'm looking at the keyword research part. So please do not hesitate to ask any questions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the screen. So to Beanie's point, you do only need to suggest something once. I am looking at chat, and if you look at the pinned comment, please put hashtag TB. It helps me see it just a little bit more. So what we're going to be looking up is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now notice how when I start typing, we're already autofilling results. We're pulling these from YouTube. So if you were to type these in, these search predictions are from YouTube. So the first thing I want to focus on is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because that is the root keyword. Actually, it's Mario Kart 8, but Deluxe is a different version. So we're going to go ahead and search up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now from here, I really want to go deep and explore this score. So if you are following along, I see that Mr. Anonymous here said horror gaming. I want you to follow along with your own keyword and go deeper with me. Don't just suggest it. Please, 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 please go ahead and follow. And this is actually a really great point, that shorts need SEO optimization too from Uptight Curls. There's no harm in it. You prepare them the same way you do a regular video. Absolutely, from Uptight Curls by Amanda, wanted to call that out. So make sure that if you have a keyword that you want to do research, that you understand. I want to break this down for you. This is something we get asked about a lot. Let's go ahead and really dive deep today. So the first thing that we are going to focus on is the overall score section. What this is this is going to be giving us an idea of two different metrics, weighted and unweighted. We get a lot of questions about this. Let's break it down. First, if you have any questions about TubeBuddy's Keyword Explorer, we have help tips like this. As you can see, that the unweighted is a general score for how good this keyword is. Now, the thing is with unweighted is it doesn't have your specific YouTube channel. So you watching, maybe it is SMRchi3 who has a different channel than Coding with Abdullah, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, who is going to have a different channel than Brendan Sparks. And the point is, when it comes to keyword research, you want to be sure that you are looking, if you have access to the weighted score. Now, I said earlier, I will mention when it requires paid TubeBuddy. The weighted score does require the paid version of TubeBuddy, but our mods are going to be putting a free trial link in the chat. So at any point you want to take a look there, you can go ahead and get that free trial and try out some of these features. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we're going to be looking at the weighted score. Unweighted is still useful, but it doesn't have as much data as the weighted score. And as we go on, we want to take a look at that weighted score. Now, this is something that people focus on, and I see all the time. A lot of people tend to look at this score here. They tend to completely ignore the graph, and you can't look at just one or the other. You need to look at both. And what I mean by that is what I tell people to do is first, on any keyword you do, look at the score and let's understand it together. So when we're looking at the score, we want to understand it together. To answer this question quickly, yes, there will be a replay of this class. We talked about that at the top of the stream. So this is going to be very helpful for said replay. So understanding this score is so crucial when it comes to TubeBuddy. It is like a traffic light. It's the analogy I give because if you understand traffic lights, then you can understand our keyword research. It is incredibly simple once you get this concept. When it comes to keyword research, we are giving you predictions of how well your channel can perform in the weighted score. So red, like at a traffic light, means you should stop and consider another keyword. In terms of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a red light, there are none, not really, but think of it like a red shell. It's going to stop you in your tracks, right? Yellow, you should be cautious. Like at that yellow light, there is a risk for running a yellow light. Sometimes you're going to go through that yellow light and you're going to be okay. But sometimes, maybe you're like Chef Andre Davy, and they see a yellow light and they run through it. Now, they can get off scot-free, but the thing is that if they run a yellow and it is closer to the red, like it just turned, it's been yellow for a while and it's close to turning red, and a cop pulls them over, they understand that they took a risk in running that yellow. But like driving, green means that you are good to go. So you want to focus your scores to be yellow to green. Now, this is a risk assessment that you can take personally. Are you more comfortable when you drive your own vehicle to try to run the yellow, or do you stop and slow down? Or do you want to wait to that green? That is up to you. How do you drive? Similar to how every channel is different, how you are as a creator is going to be different than how Rob is, how Stacy is, etc. So yellow is to stop and can, be cautious. But I'm a risk taker, so if I see yellow, I tend to go for it. But you may not be, and that is okay. It's understanding the risk you take when doing that keyword research. Now, where this number score comes in is this helps you know, is this closer? Like at the yellow light, if it just turned yellow, like you go under and it was green and it just turned yellow, you're fine. But if it's been yellow for a while and it is closer to red than that yellow, you should really stop and consider another keyword. And this is where knowing how to understand keyword research comes to side. Now, this is not all you have to keep in mind. One thing you need to keep in mind is search volume. This score helps you understand how many people are searching for this specific term. When we have a keyword in our keyword research, this is a topic that you can make a video about. When you think targeted keywords, you need to think video topics, and you're getting an idea on how many people are interested in this topic. Some topics are way too broad and way too competitive. As we go through, you'll see this. So let's go back. So this topic, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we know that the search is excellent. Now, if we have the number of estimated searches a month, we will display it down here for the paid versions of TubeBuddy. Again, weighted does require a paid TubeBuddy license. We do have those free trial links. So keep in mind. So this is another question we get, and I think this is really topical. Are you able to predict if you'll rank before your video goes live? You can't necessarily predict if you're going to rank for anything, but there are some things you can see in the TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer that gives you a good idea. It helps you gauge if you can. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So we see that the search volume is excellent. Remember, we said we want all scores. It's not one score is more important. All of these scores are important. Another thing we'll get asked is, which is the most important score to focus on? If it wasn't important, you wouldn't include it. So for search volume, it is excellent. We can see this in the number of monthly searches estimate. If you're curious about how we get this number, we'll be sure to link in the description below an article that explains how we come up with this number. So we can see the number of monthly search estimate is about 3 million searches. That is really good. That is excellent. So we know people are searching for this. It's in the green like we want. But here's kind of why it is towards the red. It is our weighted score for competition. What is competition? If we hover here, which is how good this keyword is to target for your specific channel based on search volume competition. So we can see that the competition for this video is there are 9.88 million different videos talking about Mario Kart 8. So that is something you need to think about. This next question is very important, and this comes from Alfix. And it says, can you use a title in Keyword Explorer? Because I put a title I use. When you are doing keyword research, when you're using the Keyword Explorer, you are trying to get an idea for the topic of the video. You craft the title in SEO Studio. And we're going to discuss this in just a second. So I love this question. It is a great question. SEO Studio does require Pro or higher, but you can do it without it. You're looking to get an idea of the main term you are targeting. In this case, we're talking about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But you know what? I think we focused on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So if you're watching live, and if you're doing the replay, follow along. What is another term you guys think we should do? I'm going to keep on going over the scores as we go through, but give us another term for keyword research. So when looking here, the next thing we see is competition is weighted. There is a lot of competition. So it is poor because we are competing against a lot of people. Now, we can see that this is very much in the green. This is very much in the red. These, again, we want ideally everything to be in the yellow to the green. We have one there. This one, optimization strength, is very important too. As we hover over here, this number represents how well optimized top ranking videos are for the search phrase. If they are not well optimized, then it provides you an opportunity to break in. So this section here, optimization strength, is important because it's letting you know how well optimized are these top videos for a term. You can see this in the results tab. If they're very well optimized, then you can see that the target keyword, which is in this case Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, will be repeated in the title and in the description. Here we can see that they're in the title and the description. This one's only in the title, not the description. And the reason this is important is because these videos may not be that well optimized. The first 3 are, but then we get down, this one doesn't even have it here, and they have 0 views. This might be showing up here because they're a new video and YouTube likes relevancy. It could also be live. But if we look here, we see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the title and the description. Here we only see it in the title. Here we see it in the title, but not in the description. YouTube is looking at the title, the description, and tags to have your target keyword. I am going to repeat that. When it comes to optimization, YouTube wants your target keyword to be in the title, the description, and the tags. It's going to be important later on this stream, but keep in mind those 3 things where your target keyword needs to be. Now, I asked for a new target keyword. So let's look at what is here. One I see comes from Make a Vlog, and this is what I eat in a day. So we're going to go ahead and do some research for that. Keep in mind the same principles apply for Mario Kart 8 apply for here. So what I eat in a day. So the first one is here. I accidentally hit it too earlier. So what I eat in a day. Same principle as before. We want the score to be in the yellow to the green. Now, the search volume isn't bad. There's about 85,000 people a month searching for this. So we see that this is in that green. This is where we want it to be. The next thing that I'm very cautious about is the competition. This is poor because there are about 52.5 million people you are competing against for this term. That is a lot of content. That is a lot of videos. So when it comes to gauging that risk, it's in the red. There's a lot of competition, and that plays a part. So we're going to go back. The final thing that we see here is number of videos and search results. We see that. We see the monthly estimate. We also see the optimization strength. Now, it is very good. We can see what I eat in a day, but you are competing with some larger channels. Some of these are pretty decently optimized. It's very good, but this is very competitive, which is why this next section is super important. It is the you versus top ranked video section. What this shows you is on average how many views, if they're on the top page of search, these videos tend to get. In our case, it tends to be 224,000 views on the videos in the top page here. Next, we show you the barrier to entry. People get confused on what this target is, so let's break it down. You should see this as lowest video view count found in top ranking videos. This means this is the bare minimum you need to get to rank. Now, will you stay there? That is a different question. Because of the competition, there's a lot of people making content. So even though you might be able to break in from the start, at TubeBuddy, we get about 4,000 views in our last 5. So you can see we could definitely break in. But because of how competitive it is, long term, this might be hard. So this goes into a question from Norman. And the question is, how long should you spend on tag search? So this is not tag search. This is not where researching tags. We are researching video topics. There's a difference between a tag and a keyword. A keyword is what the video is about. It is the focus on the video. This video's focus that we are doing keyword research on is what I eat in a day. When you do keyword research, you're trying to see what is it that people are interested in it. And you can see what people are interested in it in related. This section here shows you what people are searching for around a keyword. People are looking for, there is interest in what I eat in a day. We see it here. But then, since this is so competitive and we want the score to be in the yellow to green, what I eat in a day, I wouldn't recommend making the video about this. Let's go deeper. There's what I eat in a day to lose weight, vegan, keto, healthy, TikTok, calorie deficit, and there's different things that people are searching for. So your video could be what I eat in a day, but if you're a vegan, it's going to be a lot different than just a general one. So we will go vegan, right? So now all of a sudden our score is better because it's more specific. And if we look here, what I eat in a day, healthy, vegan, there's not a lot of people targeting this exactly. Some of them do, some of them have vegan in it, but it's not until the end. There are some that aren't doing it exactly the way we have it typed. A lot of people are not targeting it the way it should. So there, we know people are interested in what I eat in a day, but now we've made it different. We've made it added vegan. And this does matter because when you're doing keyword research, if you're doing what I eat in a day, that could be for anyone. But when you're more specific, if you're a vegan, that became more specific. In the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe example earlier, we said 200cc. That's a lot different than just general Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. When I asked you for topics, everyone just said gaming. But notice how we went from an idea to a specific target. And when you do that, here's what you're doing. You're going from general to you're thinking of your audience in mind. When you do that, you need to focus. I want to ask for another keyword term, and I want to take this moment to just talk about keyword research and how you can see, while we're waiting for another term, ways that keywords are earning you views on videos existing. But we're going to do all that in just a bit. So we're looking for another keyword. So if you want to know what people are searching for on YouTube, you go video searches. If you want to know what people are searching for on Google, maybe you're a blogger that also does videos, you can see it web searches. And notice athlete shows up. It isn't necessarily here for vegan, but it is for vegan athlete. So it's not in video searches, but it is on the Google searches. I will show you this now. So you can see web searches shows those athletes. It shows keto, it shows bodybuilder, and the video searches and web searches are not one to the same. They're close, but they're not one-to-one, and that does matter. So I see one here, and this is pretty topical, and this is on YouTube Shorts tutorial. So let's go ahead and see. So what people are looking for on YouTube Shorts. We see not showing video, then we get down here to get tutorial. There are interests in YouTube Shorts tutorial. Right now, this is excellent. There's a lot of search volume. It is still pretty new. This keyword is pretty new, so the competition is good. Now, you might be like, wait, 13.6 million videos and search results. How is that good? Well, how many are targeting YouTube Shorts specifically? Well, how to record and upload YouTube Shorts. Grow YouTube channel fast with YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts tutorial. It's not until number 8, Dross video, where we actually target what people are searching for exactly. A lot of people are close, but notice how Drost here is one of the only people to actually have it first. Morning Fame has it first as well, but you notice that some people have YouTube Shorts, but they're not targeting that tutorial aspect. YouTube Shorts tutorial, we go to number 20, and that's when we first start seeing it, which is why that optimization strength. People are talking closely around it, and what that means is there's not a lot of specific targeted videos for YouTube Shorts tutorials. So this is a great opportunity right now. But when it comes to doing keyword research, one thing you need to understand, and this is why I want to talk about it. You need to understand that when you're doing keyword research, that anytime you are just helping yourself show up in YouTube search, when you're optimizing a video for search, all you're doing is helping it show up in search results. That does not guarantee you views, but it gets you a chance to earn impressions. Now, what is an impression? I'm glad you asked. We're going to go back to my screen, and we're going to go ahead and understand how search leads to views. So we're going to click on the TubeBuddy drop-down menu. We're going to go to analytics, and we are going to have some fun. So Esmeralda Morrison, I'll make sure that that is very clearly put in the replay. We kind of already discussed it. So if you were watching the replay, we'll have it there. But what I want to focus on is how your content, how these search terms get you views. So right here, traffic source. When you go to analytics, go to reach. I'm going to choose, let's just choose the last 90 days. I like a lot of data. I'll choose 90 days to see a good amount of how people found us. So you go to analytics, reach, and we're going to go to traffic source, YouTube search. So these are the YouTube search terms that brought viewers to your content. This is YouTube telling you exactly what this means. Now, these are things that ultimately should be the title of your videos, right? So us at TubeBuddy, this is showing us a lot of different things. So it's showing us terms. You can click on the plus here. I want you to follow along. If you have your own channel, follow along with me. If you are watching now, if you're watching this replay, follow along. I will teach you one quick time how to get there again. Analytics on YouTube Studio. You can get there by clicking on the TubeBuddy dropdown, analytics. Next, reach. Scroll down to your traffic sources. Go to YouTube searches. And if we hover over terms that brought viewers to your content, click see more. And you want to be following along, folks. This is where you can really see how your terms are leading to views. And it also is going to show you how many impressions you get in search. So these are the terms that are ending up bringing you views on your channel. Now, why this is important is these are things that are topics, right? How to use TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy tutorial. These are going to be different for your channel. Ours are very specific based on how to add tags to your YouTube video, how to see tags. We came up with these from doing our keyword research earlier. So when you're doing that keyword research, you get an idea on the pulse of what people want to know. You can see this in a different way. If you click on impressions, click-through rate. I talked about impressions and what they mean. Impressions, if we hover here, how many times your video thumbnails were shown to viewers? So let's break this down. When you show up in YouTube search, YouTube is giving your video as a recommendation because it fits what the person is targeting, be it Mario Kart 8, what I eat in a day, be it Brawl Stars, I saw that was one, YouTube Shorts tutorial, that's one we've looked up. So understanding that all you were doing when you're optimizing for search is giving yourself a chance to show up in search results. That does not guarantee you views, although I do wish it does, but it gives you a chance for views. It is giving you the opportunity to show up so that people see your content, as we said, and as we learned, it gives a chance to earn impressions, which is when, once more, how many times your videos were shown to viewers includes impressions on YouTube. So if we go to impressions, click-through rate. So again, analytics, reach, impressions, click-through rate. Click on that, see more, and follow along. We have 195 people here. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are finding this helpful. Let me know if you guys are finding this interesting or helpful. Now, we talked about those impressions. Let's focus on search. And in order to do that, we're going to click on traffic source. And as you can see for us at TubeBuddy, we have a pretty good amount that come from search. We're going to click on search again because I want to show you how to understand how search is working for your YouTube channel. Impressions, this is just for February, mind you. Right now, I am looking for how we did in February. In YouTube search, our videos got 304,633 impressions. What that means for you, if you take anything away, is that through search results, our videos were shown 304,000 times from YouTube. Does that mean we got 304,000 views? Unfortunately not. What that means, though, is that we showed up that many times. What we have, if we go back, is our impressions click-through rate, which is 6.7 thousand. This number, using this, led to about 24,000 views through search. So when you are doing keyword research, when you're trying to find topics in our keyword explorer, what you are doing is giving yourself a chance to show up in search results. But it is up to your video's thumbnail and title to convince people to click through. If you aren't getting views, what might be happening is that you're getting impressions, but your click-through rate is low. So people will see your video in YouTube search, but they're not entitled or compelled to click on it. So does this make sense? I see from Voice Enthusiast, great stuff, mate. Thank you. People are saying this is what I'm looking for. So that's also from Voice Enthusiast. So you're definitely an enthusiast of the stream. Happy to hear that. So it really does and helps you understand how that YouTube is looking at this. When you are targeting search, you're going to be gaining impressions from search, meaning that this is YouTube showing your content in the search results. So when people search for a term, they will see your content. If we go back to analytics, reach, and we look at YouTube search, we can see the keywords that people have found our channel for. So TubeBuddy, people looked for TubeBuddy. How to use TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy tutorials. These are things that we have and create, and it's how people came to our content. And here is a major tip. If you want to know ways that people are finding your content, there might be videos or search terms that you don't have a video on in these keywords. So if it's a way that people are coming to your channel and you're like, that's kind of related, but I don't have a video on it, make the video. That search term is already driving people to your content. Don't take a chance. Be calculated. And you can be calculated using our Keyword Explorer. Let's go back to it. Now, this next one I'm going to ask you in the chat, what is another keyword you'd like us to research? While you're doing that, we're going to go ahead to Keyword Explorer. I'm going to go ahead and just type in Brawl Stars. I saw that earlier. That is something that I'd keep in mind. Now, Brawl Stars, I know, has a lot of competition. The barrier to entry, which is the U versus top rank, the minimum amount of views, you need to get 17,000 views. Now, here's the thing. If your content can't get 17,000 views out of the gate in that first week, it may not be able to rank and search right away. It doesn't mean forever, but it just means that out of the gate, it's going to take a little bit longer for your video to rank for a term. This is something that if you're just creating Brawl Stars content, maybe you don't have authority in it. What is an authority? Authority is when we go to our analytics and we look at search terms and they are driving views actively. For us, we own authority in TubeBuddy. I'll show you this. We own the authority in TubeBuddy. We have how to use TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy tutorial. These are terms we own authority for. These are things we care about. And that's something that YouTube knows. Some ways you can build authority. You can have authority if we go back to our YouTube channel, right? You can have authority by having those keywords in your channel keywords, in your YouTube titles, your YouTube descriptions, and of course your YouTube tags. So here you can see we have TubeBuddy tutorials. You should add ways that people are finding your channel with those search terms to your channel keywords. It is so important that you do all you can to earn the authority you want. Because here's the thing, YouTube is going to look to if your channel has authority. We are looking up Brawl Stars, right? So think of it this way. I'm going to give you a scenario, and if you're following along, answer the question. If you're watching the replay, you can also do. If you are getting your house painted, you want a new coat of paint in your room, and this is YouTube, they're looking for the painter. There is someone who has one color option, and that is just the color gray. Or there is a channel who has authority in colors, and they have 800 different color options. Which one are you going to go with? Just one, or the possibility of 800 that are really what you're looking for? YouTube's going to go with a person with 800. In terms of content, if you have one video on a subject, there are going to be channels with hundreds to thousands potentially. YouTube's going to look at the one video you have and the thousands they have, and are more likely going to choose the thousands because they have more content to recommend, and YouTube wants to recommend content that keeps people on YouTube and keeps people watching. It's keywords. This is where SEO comes into play. Keywords can help you end up in suggested, can help you get ranking in search, and can do so much for you. And when you understand the difference between what a keyword is, which is what the video topic is, and a tag is based around your keyword, which is why we call it Keyword Explorer. This is why we changed the name from Tag Explorer, shout outs to the original TubeBuddy users out there that remember that, to Keyword Explorer, because you're not looking for tags, you're looking for video topics, you're looking for keywords. So that is just a quick explanation on that. Don't see anyone with a specific keyword. I'm looking for... I see one for college advice, so let's go ahead and take a look and do some keyword research, right? So let's type in college advice. And again, follow along with the term you want, because here's the thing. Someone asked earlier, can I make a title should I type my title into the Keyword Explorer? You can, but you want to make sure you're doing this. I love this question. As a small channel, do you go after broad keywords? Like I said, here, and this goes to Croco Kyle, you research broad keywords, and then what you do is you look what people are also searching for, and you get more specific, because when you have a broad keyword, if it is Minecraft, that is the overall keyword you want authority in, and you gain authority by being specific. If it is college advice you want to gain authority in, you earn that authority by making videos that people are searching for, that they're interested in. So let's explain. I love college advice because it's so broad. Now, I know for a fact when I look up college advice, this is probably going to be competitive. It's going to have... the search volume isn't that great comparatively. Also, you have to remember this is on YouTube. 13,000 searches. It's not college season. This is a monthly estimate. So right now we're in March. There may not be that many people looking up new colleges. Again, this is a monthly estimate. So right now it may not be college advice season. So that's something you need to keep in mind, that there are seasons to some keywords. A great example is, if you're targeting Christmas in March, it may not be the best thing to target because there may not be a lot of search. In July, the phrase Christmas in July exists, so maybe there, but you got to remember some keywords have seasonality to them. That's okay. This is where doing keyword research will give you this data. So for college advice, if you want to gain authority in just the overall, what I would say is, what are people looking for on YouTube? They're looking for freshmen. They're looking for freshman girls. They're looking for black people, for guys, high school seniors, HBCU, historically black college. So high school juniors, there's specific ones that maybe you can talk about. We can see for high schoolers. Maybe you're in high school or you're trying to help high schoolers. Maybe that is who you're trying to help. You're trying to help people looking for college. So if you're trying to target college freshmen, well, then let's check college advice for freshmen. And notice how our scores are different. I love this in the Keyword Explorer because you can see different scores. So we had a 37 weighted score for college advice, but our score is better for freshmen because it's a lot more specific. And we're no longer targeting broad. We now know that people out there on the internet are looking for college advice for freshmen. And here's where we go from an idea to where we can start making a video. We can start crafting it. People try to put their title in Keyword Explorer and it may get 100 out of 100. But the thing is, you might be the only video there. I sometimes see that. Sometimes your video is so specific, you're going to be the only video there, but no one is searching for it. And that's a problem. So when it comes to keyword research, the reason we want these scores to be yellow to green is because if it is red, that means there's not a lot of people searching for it. If it's yellow to green, there's some pretty decent amounts. If the competition is red, that means there's a lot of people you're competing against. You'd rather not compete with that many. And optimization strength, as we learned, if we look for college advice for freshmen, the realest advice ever your freshman year, college advice, freshman isn't even mentioned here. College freshman advice for number 4 isn't until the end. Real college freshman advice closer, but this isn't even for freshmen, which we know people are searching for. Last minute college advice, the first person to actually talk about this keyword is ranking number 8, and they only have 36 views. But here's the thing. They're competing with people that have more, they actually have thumbnails that have things, but this shows that YouTube will look for matches even if this person is competing against some of these that have more views. It's showing you that YouTube will still give a chance to well-optimized content. This is exactly what I was telling you in optimization strength. Another thing you can do here is see how your thumbnail stacks up. There are a lot of custom thumbnails here, and this one is just a YouTube-generated thumbnail, right? So think of this. How can I make my thumbnail stand out in the results tab? Some of these are very word-heavy. Maybe you just have easy college advice, and maybe that can help you stand out. A lot of these are word heavy. So this one I like, 12 things I wish I knew before college, but if you look at it, it's kind of hard to read that. And on mobile, it's going to be even harder. So keep in mind, a lot of these texts I can't read. I can't read this yellow text. So maybe you come with a very bold looking thumbnail that helps you stand out. But notice how we went from a bad score to a little bit better. The barrier to entry is pretty low. And if I'm trying to rank for college advice, this is something is a core tenet on my channel. And if you're like, what is a core tenet? If you're a gaming channel, it's the game. So if you want to rank for Fortnite, that is your core. That is what you want YouTube to know what you're about. Minecraft, same thing. If you're a beauty channel, maybe it's a specific makeup brand. If you're a luxury brand channel, there's so many things that you may want. Paul Peck Drywall Tube, for example, his authority keywords are drywall. He knows that. He wants to get there. So he is doing a great job in ranking and owning the authority for drywall. I can tell you this, Wineland001, speed drawing portrait, you go deeper just like we went deeper on college advice for freshmen. You can. In fact, let's do it. So speed, if I can spell, speed drawing portrait. Now, here's the thing. Is this a term that we can and want authority in? The search is pretty low. So what I'm seeing here is you can gain authority in it, but is this a keyword that's worth it? I think what you really want your authority in is speed drawing. This is the broader term. This is really what you're focusing on. Look at what people are interested around speed drawing, and you can do it here in video searches. So here gives you an idea. So instead of portrait, maybe you do Disney portraits, which is giving you an idea for portraiture, and you know it's based on what people are looking. Maybe it's pencil portraits. Maybe it's digital portraits. Again, giving you ideas, inspirations for videos you can come up with that can help you. I'm going to go back to college advice for freshmen because this is the one that we know is very broad. We knew that college advice had a bunch of different ones. And here's how you go from a target title. So you go from a keyword. We know this is what we want to make a video on. Let's open up that SEO Studio. Optimize in SEO Studio. And I see that you say, thank you. You're very welcome. Happy to help. So now let's talk about this. This, again, does require the paid version of TubeBuddy. The SEO Studio does require a paid version. So that is what you want to do. So from voice enthusiasts, okay, start from bigger topic and then find more specific ones. Yes, if you want to gain authority around something, that's how you do it. Again, Bruce Lee says, it's a famous quote, who talks about, it's about endurance and kicking, right? He says, I don't fear a man who has kicked a few times. I fear a man who's practiced a specific kick 10,000 times. Now, I am paraphrasing on the exact quote, but the main preface, the crux of that quote is you should be worried about the person that's doing something 10,000 times. The more you talk about a subject, for example, college advice, the more you go from that broad to that specific, you can start gaining authority for that broader term. Again, I gave the example, one swatch versus 800. YouTube's going to choose the 800 options. So let's go ahead. The next thing we see here is college advice for freshmen. When you look at the SEO score, you need to remember that this is checking that you're following 100%. This is just making sure, I said earlier, that you're doing what YouTube needs you to do in terms of keyword research. We have all of these tooltips to help you. Getting 100% here just means you did the minimum requirements from YouTube to show up in search. It doesn't mean it's optimized perfectly. It just means you're doing some of the things they recommend. Doesn't mean that when you did the keyword research that the term wasn't way too competitive for you. You have to understand what the tools are saying. This is just checking that you're doing the recommendations for YouTube, right? So, college advice for freshmen. We know that people are searching for this keyword. One mistake I see, and if we go to thumbnails here, we'll see it too, is that people don't do what YouTube recommends. And this is for search. And again, a lot of what we're talking about is search focused. So for search, YouTube recommends putting the searchable part of the title first. So we already know people are looking for college advice for freshmen. That is the searchable part, and we have it first. The second part is going to be where you craft your compelling title. It's going to be where you make that change. Now, you may be like, why did his score go up? Well, we have made some changes here. If I remove some of this, it'll go down. So, college advice for freshmen. We know people are searching for this. Maybe it's something that how to make friends. Maybe you're talking about how you can make friends. And notice how we went from college advice for freshmen, and now you're talking about a specific thing. And here's the beauty. You can keep talking to those freshmen. So how to make friends would be a different video than college advice for freshmen, how to get around campus. So it could be tricks to getting around campus, where they can go, resources on their school websites, general things to know on college campuses. And again, the more that we do, this is when we have our target. This is where we make the video specific for us. So we know people are looking for college advice for freshmen. That searchable bit is first. The next thing we can say, college advice for freshmen, maybe it is how to not fall behind in classes. Again, people don't ever want to fall behind in life. You're now targeting that. So here's where we went from the idea, and now we have a crafted title. We are using it specifically. The next thing we can do is write a description. Maybe we say, here is some college advice for freshmen. Notice how our score is starting to improve because we have our target keyword organically in our title. It is in our description. I needed college advice for freshmen when I was in school, and you can actually spell it correctly. I needed college advice, and again, if I can spell, I'm typing a little too fast while trying to talk, for freshmen when I started. So here is my best college advice. Notice how we have those partial matches. You're having those entire matches, and that's not random. That is how YouTube is looking at it. They are looking for matches in your title. They're looking for matches in your description, and then they're looking for matches in your tags. So maybe that you are giving advice for incoming college freshmen. Well, college, that is very relevant. Dorm advice, that is something maybe you are talking about dorm advice. Maybe that does make sense. But the more specific you can be for college advice for freshmen, the better. So maybe we can say, here is college advice. Again, I keep forgetting the for freshmen, from friends to dorms to classes. With this college advice for freshmen. Learn how not to fall behind in classes. And this is where TubeBuddy can be a lifesaver and time saving. So this is where you can go deeper, right? This is where you can then, if you have some upload defaults, this is a free feature of YouTube, but TubeBuddy gives you an additional one. Let's say that this is your college, you can have a upload default where you have a whole bit of information. So instead of this is our TubeBuddy time saving. Maybe it says college advice for freshmen. Check out this playlist. And it's a playlist recommending all of your college advice for freshmen content. You want 100 out of 100 Uptight Curls by Amanda, because when you get that, that is making sure you're doing 100% of what YouTube recommends. So now we have our links, and notice how I didn't have to copy and paste. TubeBuddy can have that internal. Then we go to tags, and you want to be adding more. So these are our saved ones, so obviously you can have them in your upload default. But let's say you're talking about for girls, for guys, you're targeting them. You're talking about that dorm advice. You may not be talking about dating advices. We're talking about how to do better in classes. College advice for freshman classes, keeping in mind that that's something we're targeting. Class advice, and again, I should spell my keywords correctly. I keep forgetting the E on advice. It's just because I'm typing too fast. Class advice for freshmen. College advice for freshmen. And notice how that full match. College advice for freshmen in 2021. Maybe that is something we're targeting here. And the more relevant tags we include that include our target, the higher our score goes, helps us building authority. And then, you can even add your thumbnail. You can see how yours is comparing. You can see it here. And again, a lot of these have text that's hard to read. Make sure you keep that in mind. A lot of these you could probably do a little bit better than if you really take the time to do the research and see what's here. Make a thumbnail that can stand out. And then the final cool thing is once you save all of this, you can then have all of it as a draft. So here's one we did. We did keyword research for TubeBuddy. You can see where we have 100 score. We use our own feature. You can see our tags. When we have our thumbnail, we'll have it here. You'll see where we apply it to the video. We use our own features. But I made a promise at the earlier parts of this stream. Keyword research goes further than this. What if you've done keyword research on a video and you want to see how you're doing for that video? These are where we have some cool paid TubeBuddy features, and you can see how your videos have performed past the optimization process. And I love these features. Let's go ahead into them. So now let's go deeper. Now we're going to get there by clicking on the TubeBuddy drop-down menu. We're going to go to the videos pages. I see from Stacy Woo. I started with the free version. It's still helpful. Of course, we do our best to make the free version as helpful as we can. Now, the next thing we're talking about is seeing how you perform after the search. You can go to the channel content page and hover over your content to get to this TubeBuddy icon. This takes you to tools specific on this video. One of the ones I want you to focus on is the search positions. This shows you where you rank in search for those keywords, so those tags. So for TubeBuddy Dashboard, we've been ranking number 1. For TubeBuddy Dashboard Step by Step, we're still ranking number 1. But if there are any changes, it'll show up here. So there's no changes on this video. Let's choose maybe an older video. Click on that, search positions. You can see where if you have changed in search positions. So how to see tags on YouTube while searching. We were number 1, now we're number 2. We went back to number 1, now we're number 2 again. You can see where your position has changed. So you may no longer be ranking as number 1. We're now ranking as number 2. You can see how to see tags on any video. We were ranking pretty high. We were ranking 2 at one point. We went to 7. Now we're back to ranking number 4. It shows you where you're changing in search results on a video by video basis. And if we search, you'll see that. This also lets you know if you're not ranking for tags. And this is a great way that you can see, hey, I've optimized a video. Am I ranking? Now, I see Wyland001. You talked about being frustrated. One thing I said, and this is where I would recommend, and this, if you're feeling frustrated, remember, this takes time. The phrase YouTube is a marathon, is not a sprint, means that you need that time. You need to understand sometimes you can just really dive deep and you may think you're doing everything right. And maybe you're doing what you thought was right, but it's not exactly what YouTube needs. There is no shame. What I would recommend is just taking it a piece at a time, watching the replay, looking what people are searching for, finding ways you can fit that content. Sometimes, like you were looking up speed drawing portrait, as we looked into it, there's not that much interest for that specifically, but there were for other characters. And there are ways that you can be creative and target what people want and put your spin on it. When you need to remember is that you need to focus on that audience wants and then find a way that your needs and your creative vision can fit those wants. So the next thing we're going to be focusing on is looking at another way. Now, I see this one from Suffolco. I love these lives, but they are very early. For us at TubeBuddy, they're actually at a really good time for us to post these. So that is one of those situations that you need to keep in mind. I see that Voice Enthusiast says that they started 3 months ago. I see that other people are saying that too. The thing is that you gotta be willing to put in the work. When I was a boxer, right, one of the things that they teach you is called conditioning, and it is when you have to do the hard parts to get the reward. When you are drawing, when you are learning, when you are growing, it's like any skill, there's going to be pain. Pain is temporary, but the lesson you learn from the pain, the stronger you get from it. In terms of keyword research, trust me, it's taken me years to get it to this point. But I got there a day at a time, focusing on what the audience is looking for and finding ways that I can make my content fit what the audience needs. And you can do that too. I see that, we have Mishana Romero saying that they started 1.5 years. They're obsessed with YouTube and TubeBuddy. Well, we're obsessed with helping you, so I'm glad we were able to do that. So let's go back. So we showed one way that you can see how your content is doing, but here's another. Did you know you can see how tags are leading your content to views? So if we click on video topics for free, this is a cool feature in TubeBuddy. If we scroll down, there's a way in search traffic in the recommended tags that you can see tags that led your content to get views. It's called the search traffic option. If we click on it, what this is going to show is an eyeball icon. And with that eyeball icon, it shows you how many views a specific traffic source brought to your channel. So TubeBuddy, with a space, for example, brought 42 views to this video. We didn't have it, but it makes sense. So if we add it, it can be something that's already driving views, something that makes sense to add, and it's something we didn't have in our content. So this is another way you can see how tags are driving views to your channel. The eyeball icon shows how many views that specific keyword, how to use TubeBuddy, shows up again, brought 1 view to this video. And, the larger your channel and the more, broad the keywords and the more broad the topic of the video, the more you can get there. So you can get more views just from specific tags. Paul Peck says that's a great feature. I see from Cindy here, I'm glad that you're sharing this. The time I was struggling to understand, thank you for this video. Happy to help, and that's why we're here. Now, here's a great question, and this comes from Matt Woostnam. I'll just say Matt. Says, do hashtags in the description have any positive or negative effects? Sorry if this question has been asked already. No, this is a great question, and hashtags are a little newer. Hashtags are still very new. We're still getting data on them. Long term, I see them being very useful for shorts. I could definitely see that YouTube uses them. I mean, in order to get the shorts, you have to include a hashtag. I don't think that's on accident. So what I'm noticing for hashtags is that they can earn you more views if you know the target. So maybe for like college advice for freshmen, you have college advice as one hashtag. You get 3 that show up atop. So maybe it's college advice, hashtag college advice for freshmen, hashtag college advice 2021 because it's relevant. And that can help. But again, you really should, that's an extra piece to the pie, but you should have your targeted keyword in Keyword Explorer done first before you focus on the hashtags. I see some people focus so early on the hashtags. I'm like, but what is the video? So make sure you're doing it in the process, The next thing we're going to focus on is how you can track words you want authority in. You can do this by clicking on the TubeBuddy drop-down menu. We're going to click the web type. I'm going a little fast. We're going to click the website tools section. This is going to take us to search rank tracking. And what this lets you do is track how your videos perform on Google and YouTube for specific terms. So if we go to search rank tracking, it's going to take us to our ranking reports. We've already run them at TubeBuddy, but what I want to do is show you how you can do this. This does require Star, so you can track different keywords. So some of the ones I saw that we want to track are how to use TubeBuddy. That makes sense for us. Here you can see how many you get with each level. So Star, you get 5, Legend, you get 50. I'll use how to use TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy tutorial, and then we'll add those. And you just type them in and you add a comma to separate. And now we've added them. Now, I'm not going to make us wait for a ranking report to show. I'm going to go ahead to the left-hand side and click on the ranking reports. We're going to need to regenerate just a little bit. Might take a bit. And so what this is going to do is you tell us the keywords. Hey, TubeBuddy, I want authority for speed drawing portraits, or I want authority for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I want authority for how I lost weight or what I eat in a day. That is when you are telling this is the authority, and we help you track how your videos rank for those specific authority points. That fuzz, every tip I gave today in keyword research works exactly the same for live streams. It's exactly the same process because you want to make sure you understand what audience you're targeting with what piece of content, and live streams are no different. Hopefully that helps answer that question. So AJ Beats, I'm incredibly biased here. They're saying, how more helpful would you say is the paid version versus the free version? I would highly recommend checking out some reviews on YouTube. I work for TubeBuddy. This is the TubeBuddy YouTube channel. We're going to have a bias. I will say this, the free version is incredibly helpful for anyone who uses it. And we make it that way. So it's free for life. You can use it, you can understand it, and make sure that it is helping you on your journey. The paid version gives you more features. We have free trials. I recommend you seek that information out for yourself. I don't want to give you biased results because I am biased here. So the next thing we're going to look at is, now that this report is run, is you can see where your videos rank for both YouTube and Google for a specific keyword. So for TubeBuddy free, how to get free TubeBuddy upgrades, we're ranking number 8 in search. For number 6, it is free YouTube tools. We can see Nick Nimmin is above us. We track our good friend Nick. We love Nick. Shout outs to Nick Nimmin. Here you can see free upgrades is ranking here. You can see the videos we're ranking for in free, and we do have videos that fit that they're not ranking. Bulk ad end screens, we're tracking. We can see how we're ranking. So you can see the different ones. TubeBuddy tutorial, we're ranking, but we might want to keep focusing on that. TubeBuddy Pro, we're ranking number 1. We're ranking number 25, but there's some more we can do. How to use TubeBuddy, we're targeting. So it shows you what you're targeting and where you're ranking on both Google and YouTube. So it lets you track a little bit further. So you can not only say, these are what I care about, you can say, hey, I want to track this. So I want to give a little bit of time for Q&A. If you guys have questions, please use the hashtag TubeBuddy. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some answers we got to things we got earlier. So with that, I see Niminati. Unbiased here from Uptight Curls by Amanda says, it made a huge difference. I see from Till Further Notice, paid has been super useful. I see from FitLab, paid version has been absolutely invaluable to me, highly recommend. So hopefully that helps just from our audience. Again, I do recommend you search a little deeper, but even from our own audience, you can see a lot of people are finding it helpful. So I love this question. This comes from the Real Clantis Tutorials. How effective are shoutouts? Depends the channel. Like, for example, if I get a shout out from a makeup channel on my personal filmmaking channel, and they're like, yeah, he's just a cool guy, and I have a bunch of makeup people that subscribe, well, they don't care about filmmaking per se. There might be some. Let's say it's a cooking channel and they subscribe to my gaming channel because I got a shout out from another cooking channel that says, I love watching this gaming content. They may not care. So it's nice that they gave me the shout out, but if the audience isn't right, if the audience overlap isn't there, it doesn't matter that you got a shout out. Now, if you are a cooking channel And another cooking channel that cooks similar recipes shouts you out. That could be massive. That could be game changing. But a general shout out tends not to do as much as people want it to. So, great question. What are some of the advantages of the Star license? So, with the Star license, you can make changes in bulk to all of your videos. You get access to our bulk processing tools. You get those deeper ranking reports where you can track your authority for certain keywords. You can do a lot with Star, and we'll make sure to have tubebuddy.com/star mods, if you can put that in the chat. It makes sense. So this is coming from Blade and Quill. Help. What can we do if we do not have enough viewer data to show in reports? Create more content. If you might be talking about best time to publish, that is a feature where we rely on YouTube's data. So if YouTube doesn't have enough data, we at TubeBuddy pull from YouTube's data. The best way to get more data is to create content, gaining more potential chances for you to earn views, watch time, subscribers, etc. So if you don't see that data, that is a way that you can kind of do that. Thank you so much, Ike, for linking to tubebuddy.com/star. It is there. This one is specific, and this comes from, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, shut up, TubeBuddy. How to search and target videos if your channel is a vlogging channel. So what keywords for the title? What are your interests? Vlogging is broad. What kind of vlogging do you do? Are you a daily vlogger? Are you a travel vlogger? Are you a Pokemon card blogger or vlogger? What content do you do? I can say I am a guy, but that does not give a in-depth look of who I am. I am a gamer. I am a boxer. I am a dedicated TubeBuddy user. I am a YouTube knowledge seeker. But just by saying I am a guy is not specific. So you got to go deeper than just I am a vlogger. So that would be my first thing for you. So this one is interesting from Smart Compare. I'm using TubeBuddy since 1 year, but I can't viral my video. TubeBuddy is a set of tools. We're not going to make a video viral. We're going to help you understand, hey, if I'm trying to make a viral video, are there things that people are curious about? Are there trends I can see to help myself get a video get there? Just by downloading TubeBuddy isn't going to make your video viral. If it did, I would be a much happier person, trust me. But hopefully that does help. So this is an interesting question from Scotty. So I'm a music channel, but I want to start getting into commentary. Is it a viable option? So this is a great question. At that point, I would recommend if you want to do commentaries, maybe make a new channel. Here's why. If I subscribe for music, I didn't subscribe for a commentary channel. I came there for the music. All of a sudden, you're now giving me music. It's like if you went to Pizza Hut and they're like, oh, no, we don't sell pizza anymore. We're now exclusively pineapples. You'd be very confused. Do not confuse your audience. They came for one thing. Deliver on what they came for. Now, if you want to do commentary, I'd recommend a new channel. And that can give you that audience that is going for your commentaries compared to the audience you've built around your music. So, and does TubeBuddy help you grow a community? It absolutely can. But if you do keyword research, you can see what your specific community is interested in. You can make content that answers the things they need, and you can then go deep, be a conversation starter in your community. But you have to know what community you want to grow is. We can only help you if you know who you're trying to help. If you're just saying gaming, you're not being specific enough. Go deeper. That would be my best advice there. Now, I see that some people are asking more questions. This is a great call out from our mod, Stanley. Feel free to join our Discord. We have a lot of things we do there. We do something called Feedback Friday, where I actually take a look at YouTube channels and I give it my advice based on things. If you've liked what I've said here, joining the Discord is a great thing. You can also subscribe to this channel. I create content here weekly. I have left channels that branched out because it messed with their original schedule. So this is a great call out to if you start adding commentary to that music channel. I see this from Brazos or Bozraz. TB, I make quirky comedy videos or something specific I should concentrate on to promote. If you're doing comedy, that's pretty broad, right? So maybe shorts are a good thing for you to try. You can show off your skills in a short form. Shorts are getting a lot of traction. Comedy is pretty broad and it's also very subjective. So what is your comedy about specifically, right? So I think about it like this. There are different comedians that are known for different things, right? Bill Burr is a lot more edgier than a Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld's a lot more tame than maybe a Chris Rock. Every comedian has a different thing that you can expect from them. What can your audience expect comedy-wise? How can you then look up what are people looking around a topic I'm passionate about? How can I make that funny, right? A great example is just me being real. I have Invisalign. I'm fixing myself. I'm working on building myself back better because I had not the ability to get braces. But I remember I was looking up stuff on Invisalign. This is me being a user, needing advice, needing help. This is me being very real. I saw a comedian talk about his struggles with Invisalign, and it was relatable and it was real. He was talking about how it's not the most fun thing. It is a lot of pain. It can be a real pain in the butt, but he was relating to something I cared about, an interest I had. You can do that with comedy too. Relatable comedy is sometimes very easy. How can I choose my subject? That is up for you to decide. We can only give you data on what you tell us. You as the creator need to choose what you want to talk about. So that's where you need to go deeper. Us at TubeBuddy, we want to help people create content. But if you don't know what you want to create, we can't read your mind. I wish we could. It'd be very cool, maybe a bit invasive, but hopefully that helps. TubeBuddy, I just got the ability to make community posts with almost 1,200 subs. I've heard this feature can greatly help your reach if used properly. Any advice on how to use this feature effectively? Sure. So we actually used our community tab to ask our audience, what do you want to know more about? Keyword research was what they said, and here we are. So polls are really good. It's a great friendly introduction. So one, they can start expecting it. You can't just start using the community post if you've never used it before and just like overwhelm them. Start slow. Maybe a post every few days. Post in between video uploads because it can gain interest to yourself. Make sure you're asking questions that are around your audience. We asked our questions around our audience. Make sure it's relevant. Make sure it's keeping them in mind, and make sure you're doing that kind of stuff. This one comes from Militarium. Does tripling title and description help the YouTube algorithm? Yes. Having your target keyword in your title, your description, and your tags is exactly what YouTube wants to help know what your video is about. Videos can have a lot of information in them, and the more you give YouTube at the start, it's easier for them to understand, okay, this is about this. Let's try sending it with people who are interested in that. And then let's see how it does. And if it does well, if those people that are interested in that subject, if you are doing those speed art drawings and they like, YouTube sends it out to those kind of people and they like it and they start watching. YouTube's like, okay, let's try more. And they respond. And that's how YouTube starts dispersing. But if you give them information at the start to help know where to put it, they're going to put it where it belongs. Now, here's the thing. I'm amazed how we're not asking about shorts. Is they're really amazing to blow up a small YouTube channels. Make sure your shorts are relevant to your channel. I've seen it too many times. A gaming channel will post videos about dogs. A grooming channel, a dog grooming channel will talk about pizza recipes. And then they've thrown an audience that doesn't make sense for the content they make. And they've made a very bad mistake because that short is blowing up, but the people coming to the channel do not care about the content they create. Be careful with shorts. Make sure you know the audience you have. And if you're doing speed drawings, focus on that. If you're giving that college freshman advice, if you're doing comedy sketches, make sure it's very focused. The same principles we talked about here apply to shorts. And hopefully that helps answer why not a lot of people are talking about shorts. And you know what? We may not know the answer to everything, but we'll do our best to help. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this live. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you want to continue this conversation, follow us over the TubeBuddy Discord and forums. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel here. I'm Andrew Can from TubeBuddy, and thank